Faced with a sexy woman throwing herself at him, the man lost his mind and betrayed his wife. On the way to the hotel, the woman eagerly touched his body. He got distracted and accidentally hit and killed a pedestrian. 15 days earlier, Park Jae-young saw a man on TV who made 500 million won from Bitcoin. Wanting to buy his dream Lamborghini, he borrowed 100 million won from a loan shark to invest, but kept losing money. The loan shark started calling him non-stop. Park Jae-young felt increasingly annoyed and chose to ignore them. Unexpectedly, the loan shark showed up at his home and pinned him onto the table. After learning he had no money, the loan shark took him to a black market surgery site where body parts were being removed. He unlocked Park Jae-young's phone and set a 1-month countdown. If he didn't repay the money in time, his body parts would be used to save others' lives. Without mercy, the loan shark threw him out onto the street. Shaking with fear, Park Jae-young limped home. The next day, his co-worker also pressured him into repaying his debt. Feeling helpless, Park Jae-young called his father for help. At that moment, he heard his boss firing a new worker. Jang Gil-ryong had just gotten out of prison and needed money for his sick child. After begging failed, he pulled out a knife and threatened the boss. Seeing how ruthless he was, Park Jae-young secretly searched the tattoo on his hand and found out he was part of a dangerous gang. Then, his father called. Just as Park Jae-young wanted to borrow cash from him, he learned that his father had been hit by a car and was in the hospital. The driver apologized sincerely and offered to settle it just between them instead of going through insurance. Seeing 5 million won, Park Jae-young felt overjoyed. But he gave his father only 3 million and lied, saying the driver was a friend with financial troubles. Mr. Park, feeling helpless, agreed not to pursue it. Before leaving, Park Jae-young tried to borrow the money back, but his father refused. When he saw a church friend visiting his father, Park Jae-young mocked him for spending all his money on a new girlfriend. After leaving the hospital, Park Jae-young saw the driver still there. Smelling alcohol on him, he blackmailed him for another 3 million by threatening to report him for drunk driving. Later, Park Jae-young went to his father's home to get some clothes and took the opportunity to steal a Rolex watch and some cash. By accident, he found his father's insurance policy. If his father died in an accident, Park Jae-young would receive 500 million won. Thinking about his huge debt, a dark idea formed in his mind. On his way to the hospital, he was stopped by a group of troubled teens who demanded cigarettes. Park Jae-young angrily chased them away, but didn't expect they would get back at him later in an alley. The boys then stole 5 million won, a Rolex watch, and his cigarettes. The next day, Park Jae-young woke up in the hospital and overheard his father arguing with the police. The alley where it happened was nearly empty most of the time, and due to budget cuts, there were no security cameras installed. As the deadline to repay his debts drew near, Park Jae-young remembered what the police just said and quickly came up with a perfect crime. That night, he approached Jang Gil-ryong and asked him to run over his father, staging it as a hit-and-run accident so he could collect the insurance payout. In return, he would pay Jang Gil-ryong 60 million won. Jang Gil-ryong, who badly needed money, agreed without hesitation. Park Jae-young told him that his father always walked through the alley with no cameras every Friday on his way to church, and that was the best time to do it. To make sure Jang Gil-ryong believed him, Park Jae-young pulled out a recorder and said he had recorded their whole conversation. It could be used as proof that they were both in on it. The next day, Jang Gil-ryong came back to see Park Jae-young. He had used his connections to find out that the insurance payout was actually 500 million won. He demanded 150 million won instead, or he would cancel the deal. Since Friday was the next day, Park Jae-young had no choice but to agree. The following evening, Park Jae-young began creating a perfect alibi. He took his co-worker out for an expensive barbecue dinner, then went to a nightclub and gave a generous tip to the hostesses. With time still not passed, he spent time at a fast food restaurant and made sure the staff noticed him. Late at night, Mr. Park walked home as usual. Suddenly, a speeding car hit him without hesitation. Jang Gil-ryong carried out the plan successfully. Park Jae-young stayed at the fast food restaurant until morning, then said goodbye to the staff and left. He anxiously waited for good news, constantly checking the news for hit-and-run reports. Finally, the police called, sadly informing him to come identify his father's body. Park Jae-young rushed to the bathroom to practice how to cry more sadly. Once he was ready, he went to the morgue and cried over his father's body so convincingly that even the police felt sorry for him. After he calmed down, the police told him the investigation had just started and there was no suspect yet. But he believed it wasn't just a hit and run. He thought someone had done it on purpose, because there was a witness, the church friend who had visited Mr. Park at the hospital before. She had seen the driver got out of the car to check if Mr. Park was dead. Even more astonishing, the police told Park Jae-young that his father wasn't found at the crash scene. Instead, his body was secretly buried in the mountains. This morning, a streamer was camping in the mountains. While introducing the scenery to her fans, she noticed a dog not far away chewing on something. Curious, she cautiously approached, only to unexpectedly discover a body. The story goes back to the night of the incident. Successful Dr. Han arrived early at an upscale restaurant to wait for his young and beautiful lover, Yoo-jung. As their conversation became more flirtatious, Yoo-jung suggested they move to a quieter place to chat. They headed to a guest house at the foot of the mountains. Dr. Han, expecting a passionate night, secretly took performance-enhancing pills. Yoo-jung eagerly brought out some red wine. Although Dr. Han initially wanted to refuse, he couldn't resist her charm. Late at night, Yoo-jung received a call. Her friend's father died, and she should be there. Dr. Han had drunk red wine and couldn't drive, but there were no taxis this late. Considering there wouldn't be any police on the road at that time, Dr. Han reluctantly agreed to drive her. On the way, Yoo-jung, unable to control her enthusiasm, started touching Dr. Han. He lost focus and caused an accident. The two prayed that they had hit a deer, but when Dr. Han checked, it was a lifeless man. Yoo-jung wanted to call the police, but was stopped by Dr. Han. Once he was arrested, his life would be over. Just then, another car passed by. The kind-hearted driver thought Dr. Han was in trouble and offered help. Fearing the body would be discovered, Dr. Han lied, claiming he had already called the insurance company. Before leaving, the driver jokingly pointed out that Dr. Han must have been in a rush. In the car, the woman told the man she had taken photos. It turned out Dr. Han was already married. His pregnant wife had suspected he was cheating and hired private detectives to follow him. Despite Yoo-jung's protests, Dr. Han forced the body into the trunk, planning to bury it on the mountain. Suddenly, they heard a noise and noticed someone passing by. The man, Kim Beom-jun, tried to escape on his bicycle but was caught. Dr. Han, seeing that he had lost consciousness, threw him into the trunk as well. Now trapped in a hopeless situation, Dr. Han drove toward the mountains with Yoo-jung. Because of the bumpy road, Kim Beom-jun slowly woke up. Seeing the body beside him, he started banging on the trunk and begged for mercy, swearing he wouldn't tell anyone. Dr. Han didn't have the nerve to kill another one. He changed his plan, transferred 10 million won to Kim Beom-jun, and ordered him to bury the body, making him an accomplice. While digging, Dr. Han accidentally injured his hand. Ignoring the pain, he continued to dig a shallow hole before sunrise and buried the body. After handling everything, Kim Beom-jun once again demanded 10 million won from Dr. Han. Dr. Han promised to give him 20 million and warned it would end there. However, no one expected that a dog would expose everything. Dr. Han sent Yoo-jung to her company, finally severing ties with the troublesome man. He removed the memory card from the car's dashcam and sent the car for repairs. After destroying all the evidence, Dr. Han returned to his hospital to tend to his injuries. The two detectives from last night were still watching his every move. Looking at the almost empty balance in his account, Dr. Han called Yoo-jung for help, hoping she could chip in. Yoo-jung said she would help him out. Dr. Han smugly returned to his office, but he was met by an unexpected guest. It was Kim Beom-jun again. He demanded 30 million won from Dr. Han, assuring him that he would never bother him again. Dr. Han looked displeased, but reluctantly agreed to transfer the money within the week. Meanwhile, the police checked Park Jae-young's whereabouts after his father's death. The hostesses at the nightclub and the staff at the fast food restaurant all remembered Park Jae-young. His alibi seemed perfect. But the police felt something was off. Earlier at the police station, he overheard Park Jae-young muttering that it was all over if he got caught. Park Jae-young didn't realize that the police were beginning to suspect him. He went to the insurance company to claim his father's death benefits. However, the agent deliberately made him wait until all staff left before serving him. It turned out that the agent was the driver who had been blackmailed by him. He explained that they couldn't pay this out now because the police were not sure if it was a simple accident. Clearly, Park Jae-young knew the agent was making things difficult for him, so he humbly begged for his help. The agent just gave him a set of thank you gifts and sent him away. With his savings running low, Park Jae-young had to use the condolence money from guests to pay for the funeral. Jang Gil-ryong showed up uninvited and demanded payment within a week. Park Jae-young angrily scolded him for not getting the job done and still asking for money. Jang Gil-ryong shoved him to the ground and played the recording of their conspiracy to kill his father. The police, not far away, overheard their entire conversation. He followed Jang Gil-ryong to his auto parts factory. While Jang Gil-ryong and his friends were drinking, the police quietly took the recorder he had hidden in his clothes and left in a hurry. However, Jang Gil-ryong noticed the police's trail and immediately dealt with him. When searching for the recorder, Jang Gil-ryong found a police ID, realizing he had made a huge mistake. Even worse, he looked up and saw a camera. He called Park Jae-young, demanding payment by the next day or he would kill him. Park Jae-young, pushed to his limits, took out a hammer and planned to avenge his father. After making sufficient preparations, he contacted Jang Gil-ryong to meet the next night at 8 p.m. Meanwhile, Dr. Han went to pick up his repaired car and lied to the staff, saying he had hit a deer. The staff was puzzled, thinking that hitting a deer should have damaged the bumper, not the hood. Dr. Han froze when he heard this. He quickly ran to the trash can and found the car's dashcam memory card. He carefully watched the videos from that night and noticed something. The body had fallen from above, and the killer was Kim Beom-jun, who had been blackmailing him. Dr. Han told Yoo-jung the truth and angrily cursed Kim Beom-jun's actions. He planned to call the police. After all, he hadn't killed anyone, and the only thing he had to do was pay for the DUI. Yoo-jung supported his decision and promised to testify for him. Before going to the police station, they met up. After watching the video Dr. Han showed, Yoo-jung wondered how Kim Beom-jun had known they would drive down the road. Dr. Han was puzzled too, since only he and Yoo-jung knew about it. Suddenly it hit him. Yoo-jung was Kim Beom-jun's accomplice. He was furious and wanted to punish this reckless woman. But then Kim Beom-jun appeared and knocked him out with an anesthetic. They took him to an abandoned building and decided to bury all the secrets. Yoo-jung looked at the familiar place and remembered the bad things she had done. The two started digging the hole, and Dr. Han slowly regained consciousness. Seeing Yoo-jung laughing wildly, his anger burned. He floored the gas pedal and crashed into her. Yoo-jung died instantly, while Kim Beom-jun survived by hiding in the hole. He chased after Dr. Han, seeking revenge for his dead friend. Meanwhile, detectives captured the entire scene on camera. Unaware of this, Kim Beom-jun buried both Yoo-jung and Dr. Han. The detectives, shaken, rushed back to their boss and reported everything. Detective Huang reviewed the photos and decided to hand the evidence to the police. Jang Gil-ryong packed up and headed to the deal, but a car blocked his way. It was Kim Beom-jun, dressed in a suit. 6 months ago, Kim Beom-jun was about to be released from prison and shared his hidden treasures with his cellmates. One of them was Jang Gil-ryong, who was due for release next month. Kim Beom-jun left his contact info and planned to team up with him to make money. Not long after, Yoo-jung came to the prison gate to pick up Kim Beom-jun. They planned to continue their scam business. Yoo-jung would seduce the rich man in fancy places. Just as things were getting intimate between them, Kim Beom-jun barged in and threatened the lecherous man to settle with money. Yoo-jung and Kim Beom-jun worked well together, never failing. Each scam made more money. One day, While Yoo Jong was seducing a new target, Dr. Han, Kim Beom-jun got a call from Jang Gil-ryong asking him work a con together. They met to discuss the plan. Kim Beom-jun immediately recognized Park Jae-yong as a neighbor from the same village and mocked him, saying he'd always been a real loser. Based on a photo Park Jae-yong provided, Kim Beom-jun found the target and immediately pressed the gas pedal. Mr. Park struggled to get up, but was hit again. It was supposed to be his birthday. The church friend had prepared a birthday cake for him, but ended up witnessing the horrific scene. When Jang Gil-ryong got out to check, he heard a witness calling the police and chased after her. The situation changed, so they quickly lifted Mr. Park, still alive, into the car and left. To finish the job quickly, Jang Gil-ryong dealt with him. Kim Beom-jun struggled with how to make the cause of death look like an accident. Just then, Yoo Jong texted him, saying that she had spiked Dr. Han's drink. Suddenly, Kim Beom-jun came up with a brilliant idea. He told Yoo Jong to trick Dr. Han into driving under the overpass. After exchanging clothes with a passerby, Kim Beom-jun brought the body to the overpass and waited. When Dr. Han's car approached, he quickly dropped the body, successfully shifting the burden onto Dr. Han. However, in the end, only Kim Beom-jun survived the conspiracy. He then contacted Jang Gil-ryong, planning to get the payment and escape. Meanwhile, Park Jae-yong was in the parking lot, repeatedly practicing how to deliver a fatal blow. When Jang Gil-ryong arrived, they drove to get the payment. Kim Beom-jun immediately followed them. At the same time, the police found the officer's body at the auto parts factory. After reviewing the footage, they confirmed that Jang Gil-ryong was the killer and found a photo of Mr. Park at his place. In addition, the police were arresting the murderer of Dr. Han. Kim Beom-jun realized something was wrong, abandoned his car, and fled into the mountains. Park Jae-yong drove to an abandoned building. He quickly attacked Jang Gil-ryong when he wasn't looking, but ended up getting beaten instead. At that moment, Jang Gil-ryong got a call from Kim Beom-jun for help. When Kim Beom-jun arrived, Jang Gil-ryong had already tied Park Jae-yong to a chair. The police had issued a wanted notice, and the city was locked down. Even if they got their payment, they couldn't escape the city. Kim Beom-jun looked at Park Jae-yong, noticing their similar build and face, and came up with another brilliant plan. He first dealt with Jang Gil-ryong first, taking all the reward for himself. Then he changed into Park Jae-yong's clothes, put on his Rolex. Finally, he poured gasoline on both the building and Park Jae-yong. After saying a final goodbye, Kim Beom-jun set the fire. But the building had butane, causing a violent explosion. Kim Beom-jun was trapped under the collapsed wood, watching the fire approach him. Soon, firefighters arrived to put out the fire. They found Kim Beom-jun inside the building, still alive, and rushed him to the hospital. Kim Beom-jun had severe burns, especially on his face. A female doctor, Ju-yong, calmed him down while giving him emergency treatment. Ju-yong rarely smiled and seemed burdened with many worries. That day, Detective Huang came to the hospital to scout for potential clients. He noticed Ju-yong's constant frown and handed her his business card, offering to help if she ever needed anything. Ju-yong took the card and immediately went to attend Kim Beom-jun's consultation. Kim Beom-jun lied, claiming his name was Park Jae-yong. Hearing this name, Ju-yong froze, and nightmare-like memories flooded her mind. Back in high school, the young Ju-yong became the cover model for the school's anniversary brochure due to her beauty. Coincidentally, she and the young Yoo Jong were classmates. Yoo Jong was filled with both resentment and jealousy because the cover model position had originally been hers. She pretended to be friendly with Ju-yong and invited her to a blind date. Ju-yong, too shy to refuse, agreed. The next day, Ju-yong met Park Jae-yong at the cafe, and they quickly fell in love. The two walked home hand in hand. Suddenly, the lights on the street went out. Two men in masks blocked their way. They beat Park Jae-yong first, then knocked out Ju-yong. When Ju-yong woke up, she found herself in an abandoned building, where three masked men did terrible things to her. The police soon found the suspects and informed Ju-yong of the investigation results. To her horror, Park Jae-yong wasn't a victim, but the mastermind behind the crime. Now, Ju Yong desperately wanted to know if the Park Jae-young in the hospital was the same man who had hurt her. Driven by curiosity, she went to the detective agency. Detective Huang had once been a police officer and opened the agency using his police connections. Ju Yong gave him 5 million won and asked him to investigate the whereabouts of the 3 criminals. Detective Huang quickly contacted his junior at the police station and learned that the 3 had committed a brutal sexual assault. He read through the case details and realized Ju Yong was the victim. 2 of the criminals had already met their end due to karma. The only one still alive was Park Jae-young, the sole survivor of the abandoned building fire, now at the hospital where Ju Yong worked. The police found Park Jae-young to ask about the fire at the abandoned building. Kim Byung-jun lied, saying he was drugged as soon as he got in the car that night. When he woke up, he was tied to a chair in the abandoned building. 2 men were fighting in front of him, seemingly arguing over whether to kill him. One man then poured gasoline and set the building on fire. He didn't remember anything after that. The police wanted to collect his fingerprints to verify his identity. Kim Byung-jun stretched out his hand, but his fingerprints were burned. Not long after the police left, he demanded to be discharged from the hospital. As her enemy was about to disappear, Ju Yong immediately followed him. But Kim Byung-jun wasn't Park Jae-young, so he didn't know who Ju Yong was. He had no choice but to fiercely warn her to stop pestering him. Once Ju Yong regained her composure, she stopped Kim Byung-jun's taxi. She told him that because of Park Jae-young, she had never slept peacefully at night. Kim Byung-jun looked at her confused, then laughed and called her crazy. At that moment, Ju Yong believed she could finally sleep soundly because she was going to kill him. Ju Yong's boyfriend saw this scene from a distance and felt she was hiding something from him. But Ju Yong wouldn't open up to him, so he decided to investigate her and Park Jae-young's connection privately. Kim Byung-jun thought he had successfully replaced Park Jae-young and was planning to start a new life. At home, the first thing he did was memorize Park Jae-young's ID number. That night, Ju Yong took a bottle of anesthetic from the hospital pharmacy. She then paid Detective Huang 300,000 won and asked him to help her with one more task. The next day, Kim Byung-jun got a call from the insurance company. The death benefit for Mr. Park had been paid out. However, the beneficiary had been changed from Park Jae-young to someone else a week before Mr. Park's death. Kim Byung-jun rushed to meet the beneficiary to discuss the money. When he arrived downstairs, Detective Huang, holding coffee, deliberately bumped into him. While helping him wipe off the coffee, Detective Huang swapped his painkillers. Kim Byung-jun angrily went to the church, demanding the nun return the money. The nun explained that before he died, Mr. Park had instructed her to use the insurance payout for the church and the patients at the nursing home. Kim Byung-jun noticed Ju Yong at the church and confronted her, asking why she was following him. Ju Yong remained silent, glaring at him fiercely. The wounds from the fire throbbed with pain. Kim Byung-jun took some painkillers and left the church reluctantly. He walked back to the alley without security cameras, laughing bitterly at himself. Ju Yong was still trailing behind him. Kim Byung-jun sensed danger and repeatedly tried to explain that he wasn't Park Jae-young, but Ju Yong had seen him arguing at the church about his father's money and didn't believe a word he said. Suddenly, Kim Byung-jun felt weak and collapsed into a pile of garbage. Ju Yong pulled out a surgical knife, ready to end everything. Her boyfriend arrived just in time, urging her not to make an irreversible mistake. He already knew about the pain Ju Yong had been through, but wanted her not to ruin her life over this bastard. Moved by his words, Ju Yong threw the knife away. She beat Kim Byung-jun up, releasing 20 years of hatred. On the way home, her boyfriend got a call from his uncle, looking uneasy. When Ju Yong asked, he lied, saying a relative was sick. Ju Yong said she was fine and told him to go take care of his sick relative. Meanwhile, the police noticed something suspicious about the case. Kim Byung-jun had claimed he woke up tied to a chair, but the only body with binding marks was someone else's. Soon after Ju Yong left, Kim Byung-jun regained consciousness and returned to Park Jae-young's house. As soon as he stepped inside, the police called, asking him to come in for another statement. Kim Byung-jun quickly declined, saying he'd go to the police station tomorrow. He sensed trouble and started packing to run. In the closet, he found a high school brochure with a picture of a girl, young Ju Yong. Kim Beom-jun suddenly remembered that back in high school, Yu Jung had asked him to deal with Ju Yong. At that time, he had just been released from the reform school and didn't want to get into trouble, so he refused. But he had suggested to Yu Jong that she could find several horny jerks from school to handle it. It turned out that Beom-jun was the real mastermind behind Ju Yong's suffering. He quickly left Park Jae-young's house before the police arrived. The police found the pill bottle Kim Beom-jun had left behind, which could be compared with the DNA extracted from Park Jae-young's car. Kim Beom-jun looked at the reminder on his phone, thinking it was Park Jae-young's birthday. But he didn't know his punishment was already coming. It was the last day for Park Jae-young to repay his debts. Kim Beom-jun, who hadn't even enjoyed his new life, was about to face death again. Coincidentally, the surgeon was Ju Yong's boyfriend. To save money for their wedding, he had been doing black market surgeries for loan sharks. But tonight, it was the last surgery he would take. The boyfriend looked at the burned man and felt a strange familiarity. He removed the hood and sighed. It all came full circle. Kim Beom-jun repeatedly explained that he wasn't Park Jae-young and gave his real name and ID number. But the boyfriend thought this lowlife just said whatever pops into his head. To avenge Ju Yong, the boyfriend decided not to use anesthesia for the surgery. He advised Kim Beom-jun to stop struggling and just think of this as karma. For the first time, Ju Yong slept peacefully. Her boyfriend stayed by her side, reassuring her that only good things lay ahead. Ju Yong smiled for the first time in a long while. Not long after, Detective Huang found Ju Yong to share the latest information about Park Jae-young. But Ju Yong had already let go of the past and no longer cared about the case. Seeing her smile, Detective Huang felt happy as well, because nothing was more important than seeing his client happy. The report confirming that Kim Beom-jun's DNA didn't match Park Jae-young's was tossed into the trash.